Ben Harper in Central Park 3 nights ago. That was fun. You seen his laser flips? It's crazy. He lands behind. You know, everyone does that last little bit is hard because it's like an overdone heel flip shove. He has the crazy ones where he lands, like overturns and lands behind the board. It's awesome, yeah. Man, it's hard to say. One of the guys I just respect most is Bryan Herman. He's just maybe guys that you wouldn't expect because it's usually not the tech guys for me. Maybe it's because I relate. I don't know, that guy's just so built to skate. Just something about, he has a certain flow. It's awesome. I'll leave it at that, you know? By the time you start mentioning names, you know, it's like, okay, then what about him? I got this text from Ben Stiller, ding! He said the nicest things, like, hey Rod, you said all this nice stuff, I've been watching your videos. Like, could I call? And yeah. So he calls. I don't want to be that guy like, you're Ben Stiller, you know? So I'm like, hey, how you doing? Next thing I know, he's telling me about his kids and stuff, and it's cool, you know? Even my phone went out, you know, it's like cell phones. And my phone's out, I'm like, I can't hear what Ben Stiller's saying, and I'm afraid. And then it phased right back in, and he didn't know, and I'm like, what? And he goes, hey, I'm doing this movie, Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and do you know the story? No, I don't. I know a lot of people do. And so he said all this stuff, and I'm trying to be, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, put me in your movie, because that's stupid. And so I'm like, well, Ben, I know so many guys that are amazing. And I could hear his energy dropping a little bit, you know? I go, my job is to do what's best for you. Having said that, I could do that. And then I could hear him like, oh, it's perfect because they're almost the same build, they're about the same size, and they're the same age, and right on. And dude, he treated me like a king. I go there, I meet him, and I'm goofball, and so he walks up and he gives me this hug, and he looks, and I'm like, Ben Stiller just gave me a and it was awesome. And so when it all comes, they want you to do like a kickflip. And I'm like, man, I'm like thinking like switching on a laser. I've got this stuff. I mean, seriously, I put in some hours going through, like, I'm gonna give him something. I'm like, he goes, no, show me what you're gonna do, a little kickflip. And I was like, because it's super rocky, Central Park. And I just like, well, it'll look like this. And they go, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that's perfect. And I was like,
oh yeah, that's how it goes.
It was 7 in the morning, and which actually worked out for me because here time that was perfect when I skated 3. So it's done. I didn't literally skate. And then the rain came down. And brought me back second time, and then I did a few tricks. He was like, do this. I'm like, Ben, that's not good enough. I could see how he is. Like, you don't talk to Ben like that. But I was so worked up. I was like, no, it's not good enough. And he was looking at me with those because he's got super intense eyes. He was like, just do what you're gonna do. I had to wait for a cue, you know how that is? And I was waiting, dude, it's not coming. And then I'm doing this sort of crab thing, waiting, you know, like I'm treading water, and he's not giving me the cue, and I'm just sitting there doing that forever. So I wheel around half cam possible and end up in front of the kid. And he goes, that's good, that whole like monkey thing you got. And then he started imitating me, and I was like, oh, that's how I look. I went to a development and research school my whole life. We were tested for everything. Test, always will test all the time. That's the nature of the school, development and research. And the only time that they ever pulled my mom aside and go, like, he was for that one test, which I don't even know what it meant. I have no idea what the test was. But that's the only time I was remarkable. Which says something. Of just the sheer hours of where you have all your skill sets under you, I think that's a way to sort of compress everything into realistic terms. To this day, for me, cash push slide 360 flip, in order to keep flowing out of it, instead of going, stop, you know, is so different to keep sliding upside down like that and to throw it and land with a sense. And that one was the one where to this day I look back and I go, I wouldn't want to go back and do that again, you know? It's not ridiculous because in there it's like crazy, but yeah, each speaker weighs a couple 100 pounds. My neighbors, we have an understanding. This is so stupid to say, it's juvenile, but it's who I am, right? And I've always been the same. And so I sit, if you could see them, just picture them, right? They're so high. They look like basically R2-D2. And so I sit perfect, like triangle, you know, in front. You sit there with the remote and you turn it up just when it starts to hurt, and then you hit one more and then go like that. And then you just feel it in your whole body for a while, as long as you can take it. And then you turn it off, you know, and then and then I go skate. It's awesome, but only if I'm really usually, like, just sometimes when you need it, you know. Sabaton Birds of War is like earlier, and it's just raw, kind of evil, but it feels good. And then some classical, like second move into Beethoven's third. Neighbors can't quite figure that out, but it's the funniest thing because it's just singeing the walls because of the horns, you know? All right, we sold the company. It's Orange County, fancy lawyers buildings. I mean, really nice, just imagine. It's a lot of money. And so there's parking garage under, and you know how that is, you drive off under, and there's a wooden barrier, drawbridge style. And there's some good-hearted immigrant, and we had just gotten wires of, significant amount. And the guy goes to Steve. Steve had his Land Rover, the Jeepy looking ones. He's there, and the guy's like, sir, and he's so dignified and good. And Steve's rotten, He's good-hearted, but you really got to know him to see it. The guy's like, sir, it'll be another, $5 or $10, whatever it was. And it was just, of all days, your life has just changed. And Steve's like, I'm not paying. You're wrong. I'm not paying. You are wrong. And Steve's like, I'm going to go right through this thing. I'm telling you. And the guy's like, sir. And he turns. Steve just floors it. The only thing, splinters hitting the shield and the sound of those tires on, the texture of those soft four-wheeler tires, big treads, on the garage, that's a very specific sound as they squeal. And we're going up, and cops, Orange County, freeway, and Steve, you don't have words? You're just going for it, and there's still like splinters. Anyway, that's a memorable story. It's just one of them, there's so many. I don't even remember that. Mike V is so good. I would go on tour with him and just marvel at him on Powell. Those are good days. I don't think I told Mike V anything. If anything, I could learn something from him. Man, Antwuan, I love the way he skates. That's between me and him. We all hear ghost stories, but when that happens, you start looking at things a little different.
I think as a kid, I was just, wired to deal with conflict in a way that was not so pleasant,